Hey everyone, welcome to today's explainer. Look, if you're working with market intelligence, you already know the harsh truth. A price comparison bot is literally only as good as the numbers it spits out. A clean-looking dashboard, it doesn't actually mean your data is accurate, fresh, or even complete. Today, we're diving into a highly resilient blueprint for building a bot using Python and CAPTCHA AI. And we're not just talking about blindly scraping pages here. We're talking about building a valid, rock-solid workflow that your pricing team can actually trust.
So here's the million-dollar question. How do you automate pricing intel without getting instantly blocked? Data teams deal with this every single day. You need automated intelligence to stay competitive, but the second you try to scale up, boom, anti-bot systems shut you down. And honestly, it gets worse. If your workflow is fragile, your bot might quietly return stale or failed data without you even realizing it. That leads directly to bad business decisions. So let's look at how the source material recommends solving this whole mess.
Okay, let's quickly outline how this blueprint comes together. First, we'll cover the price automation challenge. Second, the core bot architecture. Third, beating those anti-bot systems. Fourth, managing currencies and data. And finally, advanced multi-step workflows. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the price automation challenge. Before we even get into the technical weeds, we really have to look at the reality of the modern web. E-commerce stores heavily guard their pricing data. I mean, it's their proprietary edge, right? Standard automation tools, the kind that worked flawlessly maybe 5 years ago, they just get detected and blocked immediately today. The server spots those robotic request patterns, or maybe a weird browser fingerprint, and it either throws up a CAPTCHA or just drops your connection entirely. To guarantee data validity, we absolutely have to take a new approach.
Moving right along to Section 2, Core Bot Architecture.
To survive that aggressive blocking we just talked about, the sources recommend a specific structural shift. Don't just write one massive script. Instead, build a system of connected, isolated modules. First up, you have the store scraper. This just handles pulling the raw HTML or JSON data. Next is the CAPTCHA solver module, which stays completely isolated and only jumps in when a challenge actually pops up. Third, the price comparison engine to normalize the data. And finally, a main runner to orchestrate the whole sequence. Breaking it up like this is a game changer. If a website changes its layout, you only have to fix the scraper module. The rest of your data stream stays healthy and reliable.
Which brings us to Section 3, beating anti-bot systems.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. Standard browser automation, like basic Puppeteer, it basically screams, "I am a robot," to the server, and you're blocked instantly. But the source material points to a really effective combo, pairing a stealth plugin with CAPTCHA AI. The stealth plugin is great because it patches those obvious browser leaks to make you look like a regular human user. And when a challenge inevitably does appear, the AI integration seamlessly solves it. This ensures your data extraction doesn't just fail silently in the background.
Of course, even with a rock-solid setup, things can break. Modules fail, and when they do, this debugging checklist is an absolute lifesaver. You might just have a wrong site key, maybe you've hit a hidden iframe, or perhaps you just need to update some stale keys. And remember, monitoring your source health is just crucial here. If your solver fails and ends up skipping a major competitor's site, your final best price report, well, it's not actually the real market price. You're just flying blind.
Okay, Section 4, managing currencies and data.
So you've bypassed the security, you've got the data, now what? You have to standardize it, or it's totally useless. A raw number floating around without context doesn't help anyone make a pricing decision. The golden rule for scraping globally is to convert everything into a single base currency using a free exchange rate API for your comparison math. But, and this is a big but, for your actual database reference, you must strictly store the original currency. Without that original currency and a timestamp of the exchange rate, you literally cannot validate the bot's math later on. Another thing you might be wondering is, how often should we actually be checking these prices? Well, that depends entirely on the business decision you're trying to support. For normal, day-to-day market monitoring, daily checks are usually perfectly fine. But if you're tracking flash sales or really aggressive competitors, you'll want to bump that up to a 4 to 6 hour cadence. Just a quick word of warning though, you have to pace your requests to avoid rate limits. If you hammer a server too often, they will ban you, stealth tools or no stealth tools.
To keep this whole rhythm automated and on track, the guide recommends standard scheduling tools. We're talking cron jobs on Linux, task scheduler on Windows, or various cloud schedulers. It's very set it and forget it. But actually scratch that. Don't completely forget it. Someone on your team absolutely has to take ownership of source maintenance and reviewing extraction failures. Because if there's no clear ownership,
The bot just becomes everyone's tool but nobody's responsibility. And that's exactly when bad data creeps in.
And finally, Section 5, Advanced Multi-Step Workflows.
The source material makes a really crucial point here about scaling up. We're talking about managing workflows across multiple accounts on capture-protected platforms at massive scale. This whole architecture we've been talking about, it isn't just for checking a single page's price. You can actually use it to automate complex logins, manage diverse accounts, and trigger multi-step actions across different sites all at the same time. It's about building a massive, validated workflow.
And the best part is, you are not locked into a single language ecosystem. We focused a lot on Python today, but the complete runnable code for this exact architecture is available for a ton of languages. Node.js, PHP, Go, Java, Rust, you name it. This flexibility means your data team can take these stealth modules and drop them right into whatever tech stack you're already using.
Which brings us to one final thought. By combining this modular design, stealth plugins, and automated capture solving, you essentially completely remove the bottlenecks caused by anti-bot systems. But, way more importantly, you create a workflow that actually produces fresh, validated, and decision-ready data that your team can trust. So, if you can automate pricing without limits, what workflow will you scale tomorrow? Think about how that kind of trusted intelligence could completely transform your strategy. Thanks for hanging out with us for this explainer, and we will see you next time.